Paris was adorable.
It was really cute.
It was really petite, if you will.
Yeah.
Did you have higher expectations about what it was going to be than how it was in person?
Yeah.
Honestly,
I thought it was going to be much different than I expected. I thought it was going to be like the little streets, kind of like Italy.
He thought it was going to be like Venice.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I expected.
Have you heard about the Paris syndrome, though? It's like something that it's big in Japanese culture, and it happens to a lot of Japanese tourists when they visit Paris. They get depressed because it's not what they expected in their head.
Oh,
interesting.
It's like it's like a whole Wikipedia page on it. It's like a psychological phenomenon.
No, I don't think
about
not depressed.
It was still really beautiful. Like we really enjoyed our time. We were cruising around.
Yeah,
we explored.
Not what I expected.
I wasn't saying it made you depressed, but there's this expectation of Paris that's in your head, and you get there, you're like, oh, this isn't how I had it exactly in my head.
The town was cute. It was very cliche. Like the croissants were unbelievable. The coffee was great.
Coffee
all
shops
the
are
pastries were amazing.
Cafes everywhere.
Baguettes.
Everywhere.
I love that you could just wake up and walk around and go to different cafes and little stores. Like that was very cute. The Eiffel Tower was unbelievable.
Yeah. I like the fact that the cafes all seating faces the street.
Yes, you sit
I wasn't
facing
You
out.
don't sit face the other way. It's like almost like
that.
It's
bleachers.
just rows and rows of chairs like facing the street.
Like just people watching. I love it. Yeah.
The entire trip was people watching, and I loved every second of it.
Cigarettes everywhere. Yeah. Everyone is smoking.
Did you smoke a bit?
I
got
had
back on the
I had to.
Vacation, baby.
Old Heath getting back in there. Oh.
It was weird though because they made it look so normal. I feel like it's super frowned upon here. But there it was kind of like if you weren't smoking, it was weird.
Because they've been smoking for generations and generations and like it's so much part of because it's also like they're big social smokers too.
Yeah,
like it's not uncommon to have a cigarette like after dinner, like with I don't know the adults out here. It's very habitual smoking.
Okay, I do have one thing to say. I was going into Paris thinking that it was going to be the most insane French food I've ever had in my entire life.
French cuisine is a little different.
I've heard about that, but like I like we've been to French restaurants out here. They're really really good. I don't know if we just picked the wrong spots, but it was very difficult for us to find a meal.
And we were really being open-minded when we were going to these places.
I was thinking that when I was seeing the pictures, I was like, I bet when that menu came by, Zane was like, turn it upside down going, I don't know.
No, everything looked good. Like,
everything was good. Like everything on the menu looked great. We're like, all right, let's go. And how many places did we end up going?
It was probably like 7 different restaurants.
Just to pick a spot?
No, we picked a spot.
Oh.
But
we would
this sounds really bad. Like
I don't feel bad. Like this was literally our experience. Like it was.
You can't take that away. This is what we went through.
Everything was amazing except for the food. It was.
Let's start with the service. I didn't realize meals there was an entire ordeal. It's like a 3-hour experience.
Oh yeah, it's on a whole different pace.
Yeah,
I guess we're used to just being like, all right, let's get the food, let's order, get in and out.
Like, want to bring these out with your apps?
Yeah,
like,
nobody wants to feel rushed. The waiters and the customers.
And
I feel
you would
like
have to ask for everything. They wouldn't come up and be
they
like,
don't come in like check on you
because
they're paid. Yeah, they're all based like on like true salaries. Or did you tip at all?
So that was another thing. I kept trying to tip, and they would run the card. I'm like, how do I add a tip? I don't have cash. And they're like, oh, it's only cash if you want to tip. I'm like, damn it. Like, I felt bad not
because
tipping.
we didn't have cash on us. We just because our cards were working, so we're like, oh, let's just use our card for everything.
But yeah, so we would go to a spot, and just the stuff that was coming out. Like, I ordered this steak that looked absolutely incredible. One of the most beautiful looking meals I've ever gotten. I was like, we found a spot. Let's fucking go. Finally gonna get a good meal. Bro, when I tell you, I needed a fucking hacksaw to get through this steak.
Dry.
It's not.
They both put it in there.
It's just scissors.
Bro, the scissors would have flared out. It wouldn't have gotten through it.
I tried chewing it, and I was chewing it for a good 5 minutes, and I pulled it out all in one piece. I couldn't even.
It was bigger when he took it out of his mouth than when he first started chewing.
Did y'all just walk around and go, that place looks good, and just walked in?
We were checking like reviews and stuff on the map.
We're don't even think we were looking at reviews. I think we were just. I thought we were just like picking places just on the streets.
But we were also picking stuff too. Like we were there.
Were they the places where like, oh, come in? If they have the menus out and they're telling you to come in, don't go in there.
They weren't very pushy at all.
Yeah.
Like anybody that works in
It's
France
super laid
wanted
back.
nothing to do with us.
Yeah, they were really closed off.
Yeah.
We were trying to be really sweet. We were trying to be really open, and I think because of the language barrier, also it makes it even harder for them to give the time of day to like. Want to,
guess what I started at? One other person copied me. Guess what I started in France? I just gave it sometimes you just ask for things that you know they might not have because they don't understand. But I did ask for a Shirley Temple, and I was like, what are the chances? So they were like, so he was confused when I asked for a Shirley Temple, and I said, oh, do you have grenadine? He said, yeah. I said, do you have Sprite or ginger ale? He goes, yeah, both. I was like, ginger ale. I was like, okay, can you put the grenadine in the ginger ale? And he looked at me like I had 10 heads. And I was like, trust me. And then I said, can I have some cherries too? Like whole, he said syrup. I was like, no, whole cherries, whatever. He was like, okay. So he brings it out to me.
It sounded like the strangest thing to him.
He did an amazing job. Like the proportion, it was amazing. So I drank it. It was great. And then like 5 minutes later, I look over and this French guy has the same. It's clearly a Shirley Temple. Like it was the exact same.
You could tell he was like,
I'll have what she's having.
Yeah.
And especially in other countries, you kind of want to get what they usually
They're
have.
traditional.
But there's like an annoying way to ask for something that you would get here in America, and there's like a nice way to do it, like a fun way where you you're almost like teaching him something new. And,
that's what it felt like.
So then I told him, I said it's called a Shirley Temple, and he repeated
They call it Mariah Temples there now.
No, they call it a Timothy Chalamet.
but then when I asked for something I usually get here, we went to this cafe, right?
Zane, you make it so much more difficult than it has to be.
I know.
Mariah, you know what it is?
I know when I'm with Zane, I have to close my eyes and just go to a different world.
This is why I have a hard time, because the moment my mouth opens, everybody looks at me because they're waiting for something to happen, which stresses me the fuck out. Because as soon as I go,
we all hold our breath.
I was wondering if, and as soon as I start, I look at everybody's faces, and then I get tore down. I freak out.
Because we know
you add so many extra words that are so American, and we're just like, no.
We know it's going to be difficult. So I literally like, if there's something I don't like on the menu or something in the item, I'll just be like, I'll just do this. However it comes, I'll eat it. If there's something I don't like, I pick it off. But like, no.
Zane will be like, is there any possible way? I'm like, that sentence.
So is there any possible way?
Matt, we were.
Which way?
Matt, we were trying to order coffee, and he's like, a coffee, and the guy's like, okay, and he's like, do you have cream? And the guy's like, cream. He's like like milk, and he's like, okay, yeah, milk. And then Zane was like, actually, if there are any other like sort of like cream alternatives, do you have like an oat milk or an almond milk? I was like, he barely understood
come on,
coffee.
I don't even use the word alternative.
I've never even heard of the word.
It's just so funny.
I felt really stupid though. I asked for almond or oat milk, and then they're like, Zane. I was like, oh my, they would not have that there.
You
Like,
just have to kind of read the room. It depended on the waiter. But that was another thing we learned about coffee. When we first got there, Heath asked for black coffee. And we realized very quickly their black coffee is no creamer, but they add sugar in it. So we ordered like 4 different coffees from 4 different spots because he kept asking for black coffee, and they kept putting sugar in it. So we learned very quickly that
I was like, all right, I'm just gonna drink.
I will do iced coffee, no cream, no sugar. And they're
and they don't really have coffee. It's only espresso with water in it.
Americano.
Yeah, Americano.
Yeah.
So we'd ask for like can I do iced coffee? Americano, not Americano, just coffee. And it's not like it's not a thing out there. Yeah. Only espresso, cafe.
Ice alone isn't a thing in Europe.